Hi, everyone. I'm John Miller, and I am one of the members of the leadership team for Signing Savvy. And I thought today it would be nice for us to explore the concept of how we can use Signing Savvy and the features and the tools and the things that are on it to actually create, excuse me, your own ASL class. Um, Oftentimes we have teachers and things that'll say, I'm a beginning teacher, I'm just starting to teach this, and I'm just wondering, how I can use your site. Is it worth it for me to get a membership, that type of thing? And so I just thought I'd go on today. I'm actually going to show you a shell of a course that I teach down in Florida. And this is just kind of the basic tool. We use a Canvas tool, it's called. But some systems are called Angel. There's other systems that you do that basically you just store your stuff into, and it's built by modules. So what I did is I started playing around today, and I actually started building one module, the first module. Now, the way that I run my courses is that each week ends up being a module. But with everything being, online and so much now being that people can do things at their own pace, a module doesn't necessarily have to be a week. So you can name it whatever you want to. Excuse me. I just chose to name mine Module 1. You can do the name of your class, that type of thing. But what I want to show you that's most important is how we take things directly from Signing Savvy, our site here, and just by using links, we can put them into these different modules. So I'm pretending like this is a beginning ASL class. Okay, so this is a template for a beginning ASL class. And of course, we start with fingerspelling. So the first thing I put in my modules would be fingerspelling, starting with the basics, and then I just put a link. Follow this link, both um, introductory information about fingerspelling um, and things to be able to practice quizzes. So if you just click on this link that you've put into the module, it's going to take you right to Signing Savvy's fingerspelling page. Okay, you're going to see it across here on your tabs there or down in here. But then on this page, it gives you a brief introduction to fingerspelling. It gives you a printable alphabet that you can print out, okay? And then some more information about it and some quizzes right here. So this is a fingerspelling alphabet word quiz, Signing Savvy fingerspelling quiz, the flashcards, and then printable posters of the alphabet. Okay, all that is going to be right there at your disposal from that link once they click on that link in the module within your Canvas page or your Angel page or however you do it. So I just cut and pasted it right into there in the editing process. Okay, so basically when you put your modules together, and everybody's going to be a little bit different as far as their training goes for Canvas or that type of thing, but basically I just gave it a title, put the information I wanted in there, cut and pasted the link in there, and saved it. Okay, all directly from Signing Savvy, and then that puts it in there. I continue to go back to the module and add new things. So fingerspelling was my first thing that my students are going to look at. Then I'm like, you know what? As I think about it, there's a lot of times some real common mistakes that people make with fingerspelling. And I remember that there was an article that we did, a blog that we did a few years back on Signing Savvy. So I went up, created a new part to my module, common mistakes made in fingerspelling. Click on this. I put that in there. Follow the link below to the most common mistakes. The students just click on it. Here it is. Here's the article. It was written back in 2018, but it's still relevant today. Common mistakes for new signers. And it's going to go through, and it's a really nice article that shows you some of the common mistakes that people make. Our nice screaming E that we talk about, the right way to do an E, the wrong way to do an E, all that type of stuff. Okay, it's all in there for you. All right, tells them about the M's and the O's and all those type of things. Great article for new signers to read before they get going too heavily and start developing bad habits with their fingerspelling. Okay, so that link is right there. Go back to the module again. Next thing for our students, well, let's count. Okay, so numbers, usually I teach 1 through 10 in that first class or that first module. So here it is, a link again, Signing Savvy. Okay, it's going to take them right to the numbers page. It's going to talk to them a little bit about numbers, show them some different things, and went back to the common finger spelling things. Um, Sorry about that. We'll go back. Numbers. Oh, it seems like I have a problem here. It must be a linky problem that I had, but I can change that out. So basically, it's going to go to our numbers page when I get that link fixed, and it's going to show you another printable, okay, 1 through 10, some common things that are problems with numbers or as people are learning with numbers. It's going to give them a work list, Savvy Numbers quiz, flashcards, printable posters, okay? So again, these are all things that you can, by cutting and pasting links into your modules, that your students can just kind of work their way through, right? And then one thing that I always want to make sure that I include in all of my sign language classes, but especially the first one, is the importance of deaf culture. So I have a little area in my module, and these are all like subsections of your first module. So this is all what the students are going to cover in that first learning experience they have with your class. I put down a little thing here, and I want you guys to think about this and write it out yourself, obviously, but I just put in here that here I would either place a video lecture introducing deaf culture, or a blog article, a paper for students to read, something introducing students to the idea that they will be learning in this class not just hand shapes that are going to represent different words and things like that, but they're also going to be learning about a culture, and that they, as new students of sign language, need to learn about and respect that culture. Okay. And then what I would do is say in each previous module that you have, now depending on how you're teaching, sometimes my courses are 10 weeks long, sometimes they're 16 weeks long. But there's enough information in Signing Savvy that they're going to be able to go and find something about deaf culture to be able to click on and find information about these different people. And so I would let them know that from then on out, every time they go into the deaf culture area, they're going to be able to find articles and things like that about deaf people. And if you look over here in our deaf culture area, okay, these are all the different blogs that are there, articles. This was actually the first one that I listed in my module, and it's about this gentleman here, Living Loud, Andrew Foster, a pioneer missionary, educator, mentor, and advocate for the deaf. So this is the actual blog article that my students would be reading that are going to be in their first week of class, their first module, if you will, okay? But as you can see, there's a bunch of other ones that are all in here that you can choose from, okay? They go weeks and weeks and weeks, and we add more to this all the time. There's at least 4 pages of them right now, and probably even more, okay? So again, we're going to go back to our module. So they've talked about fingerspelling, common mistakes in fingerspelling, numbers, the importance of deaf culture, and then there's another aspect that we have, another feature that we have on Signing Savvy called close but not the same. And so I like to introduce my students to the concept that there are different parameters of sign language, with hand shape, with movement, with starting and ending points, all these type of things, and that just one little tweak in one thing can change the whole sign. And so we have a signing series called Close But Not the Same. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. Again, I've put that module right in here, this link that they would be able to click on and then go to that. And by doing that, they're going to be able to find our Signing Savvy sets of Close But Not the Same. Okay, and there's several of them, as you can see. 12, I believe, we have all together so far. Okay, the first set is this one right here. And when they click on their set of Close But Not the Sames, they're going to see an explanation for it. And then the first 2 signs that they're talking about is the signs for sick and the signs for disease. And it's going to give them the videos that actually play along with them. The sign for question and ask, the signs for Senate and committee, science and experiment, Okay, so it goes on and on. All right, each set has, I think, about 10 words, 12 words maybe in them that go along. This one has a little more than that, 14 words. Okay, but they're just fun. Maybe you don't want to put those in your very first class. Okay, maybe that's something you want to hold off on, or that's going to be an assigned to class. But I'm wanting to show you that there's enough sets of them that you could do one per module and take up a whole course, that of something that you're going to do there. All right, let's go back to our module again. Another thing I like to do is to talk about hot topics. Okay, we call it hot topics just because a lot of the popular TV shows and things now they get into those too, and it seems to grab everyone's attention. Hot topics can come from a lot of different resources, and I actually put that down for you here. I said that I like to get my students interacting and talking about the information that they're learning, as well as new and hot topics that are currently happening in our world and how they might relate to deafness. One way to find current hot topics is to follow deaf-focused social media groups and see what they're discussing. Okay, I always suggest that the students watch and listen. All right, this is difficult for some people to do that, but I really emphasize to them that this is not their time to voice their own opinions because they're just so new to it all. They're new to the whole world, and they could really cause themselves some problems if they start interjecting their thoughts into these social media groups and things out there. But what I like to do is then pluck those out and put them here in my classes so that within the safety of their own learning group we can discuss and talk about these hot topics and really kind of delve into them and find out what kind of some of the sticky, murky, or water situations are, and really be able to discuss them in an honest, safe setting rather than out there when you're in the deaf community or in an interpreter group or in a parent. They don't want to offend. They really don't. They're just learning. So depending on the makeup of your class, the topics can be more child parent focused, or they can be like interpreter training focused. Either way, Signing Savvy has a lot of different areas over there. In this side area, let me show you again, right over here, where you can choose some different things and you can find them. So if you're not finding them from other social media settings, you can look at them through here, through our Dear BC. Okay, that's Brenda Cartwright, who is a very well-known interpreter training. Also Interpreter 411, Interpreter Q&A, Interpreter Tips, okay, or down through our teaching tips and parenting, like learning, literacy. There's also some things in there that you can find as far as a hot topic question. And then what I do is I will go back to this. I like to make this that it's a discussion. So then what's going to happen is when the students go in and do their reply within Canvas, now again, it's going to be different depending on what type of format and platform you use. But I, in Canvas, love it because I can hit reply, and this, as a student, I can go in and I can either type my reply back, I can very easily videotape my reply back. In this certain scenario, if I do this little button right here, that will help me to make a video. And so the students can go on and start with a video where they're actually maybe speaking, or as we get more advanced in our sign language classes, they can make a signed video back. Okay. Or sometimes even my discussion, my hot topic might just be like, okay, first day of class, they're just learning the alphabet. Maybe my question to them is, what was the most difficult ABC, for you to learn? Like what was one that was difficult or that you're struggling with having? So their video response back to me might just be X, that type of thing. They're just doing a quick video response back. It's quick, it's simple, it's easy, and it's nice for students to be able to see each other and be able to comment back and forth. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do in there. All right, go back to the module again. Quizzes. Okay, so quizzes are something that again is pretty personal. I think you want to usually make up your own quiz and do things like that for your students. But if you don't want to make up your own quizzes, or you just want to test them on something, you've got the ability to go in through Signing Savvy again through our word lists. Okay, my list, shared list, word list. Savvy lists, okay, the lists that are there, and you can go in and you can say, I want to test you on, and you can do, these animals, all right? So you can, by clicking on that link and then cutting, pasting that link into this area here for this quiz, it's going to take the students directly to that, and then they're going to be able to quiz themselves on predetermined lists that you've decided, okay? So that's another thing that you can do from the Signing Savvy site. And so, therefore, I've just kind of showed you a way to. This is just 1 week, one module that I've created with things almost all directly from Signing Savvy. Okay, a little bit of work from you, but you're just placing things where they are and where they make sense. Now, I haven't published any of these, and that's why some of the links and things like that didn't open up for you right off of this page. Once it was published, it would do that. But I was going back and forth between the Signing Savvy homepage and that Canvas page for you to show you how quickly and easily I was able to pluck things off of Signing Savvy and insert them into a format platform for a course. Really easy, really workable, not taking up your own space and things like that, because you're using them right off of a website and things that way. All right. The articles, like I said, when you go back to the main page, you can search through articles with different topics here, or you can just kind of go through these here. There are a lot of different blog articles that are covering a lot of different topics. So there are definitely ways for you to be able to make it your own. All right. But I just wanted to show you that there's some really great resources here that you can then quickly and easily implement into your high school course, your college course, anything like this that's a completely online format right now. All right. Hopefully that helped you out. Again, if you have questions or concerns, you can contact me at john@Signing Savvy. I love to be able to talk to people about education and how to be able to help people out and to make their life easier. Take care. Thanks.